Okay, this is a video called Every Zelda Reference in Breath of the Wild. This is by Zeltic. And this video has been very curious because I've played a lot of Zelda games, and I know a lot of the things are references to other places in Zelda. He does have a nice voice.
Translates to "It's dangerous to go alone," but some
What?
are pretty massive.
Wait,
Beacons
what?
Like how the Sheikah runes in Beacons translate to "It's dangerous to go alone."
I didn't
but
know
some are
that.
Pretty massive, like the springs from Skyward Sword appearing as ruins in Breath of the Wild's world.
That
This is
I
also
knew.
true for the game's location names. A huge amount of seemingly unremarkable places have names that reference previous games in the series. Again, some obvious, like
Romani, yeah.
Plains, which calls back to Majora's Mask's Romani Ranch, but some aren't as
Lon
clear.
Lon Ranch.
So let's explore the entirety of Breath of the Wild's map and run through any and all Zelda references hiding there.
Cool.
In case you hadn't noticed, Breath of the Wild's map is pretty big, and while a lot of its locations do have names that reference characters or places from other Zelda games, most of them just refer to what the location actually is or was used for, like Outpost Ruins or Scout Hill. And many more names are derived from things like types of fish or types of tree, which we'll also miss out.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, because I guess Zelda, like Breath of the Wild is so far in the future, right? That at this point, this is my understanding of it, all the timelines have basically converged. So it's interesting because it's like, yeah, like in the distant past, this was a guard's outpost. Like they don't know specifically what it was. They just know like kind of what that area was used for. It's so interesting.
Below.
Kakariko!
So we'll start out as
I wonder
Link
what that's a
does,
reference
on
to.
the Great Plateau and move outwards from there, focusing on the locations with names that reference previous games in the series. On the plateau, we have Mount Hylia, obviously named after Hylia, the goddess appointed to guard the Triforce, of whom Zelda is the mortal descendant, and the Temple of Time, which is of course yet another appearance of one of the series' most iconic landmarks. None of the other named locations on the plateau appear to directly reference other games, though Omen Owl, the name of a Sheikah monk and his shrine, is an anagram of Aonuma, named after Dig Dogger, one of the bosses from Zelda 1.
Oh,
Just
wow.
north of here, we have a few other locations named after Zelda 1 bosses.
I forgot about that.
After Manhandler, Gleeok Bridge.
Dude, we have
after
to play the
Gleeok,
OG Zelda.
and Aqua
It's a good game.
Daphnis, named after Daphnis Nahanson Hyrule, the king of Hyrule from the Wind Waker. Northeast of the plateau is the Forest of Time, obviously a nod to Ocarina of Time, and the Kolomo Garrison Ruins and Lake. Kolomo being an anagram of Lokomo, a sacred tribe that appears in Spirit Tracks. East of here is a group of locations
Holy
named after
shit.
characters from
Is this
Skyward
still on
Sword.
the Great
Owlin,
Plateau?
Batro, Horwell, and
What the
Aegis,
fuck?
with a pair of lakes most likely named after Navi the fairy to the east.
Unicorn
Maple
Drago?
Ridge, just north of Dueling Peaks, could refer to Maple, the witch who appears in the Oracle games and the GBA version of A Link to the Past. North of here, though, is a much clearer
Okay, no, this is
reference.
not on the Great Plateau
Sahasra
anymore.
Slope anagram, and Tetla Lake is a nod
Tattle.
to Tattle, the fairy from Majora's Mask.
Tattle.
Again, its name is nearly an anagram of Tattle, but its Japanese name,
I love this
Tetla
Zelda
Lake,
theory video.
is an anagram of Chato, Tattle's name in the Japanese version of the game. Kariko itself, we find Pierre Plateau and Banuru's stand, named after the scarecrow.
Oh, the scarecrow.
Pierre and Banuru. South
I forgot about those
village are the
guys.
pillars of Levia,
I think they're in
named after
Majora's Mask too.
Levias, the sky spirit from Skyward Sword. Lake Ciela is likely a reference to Ciela, the fairy from Phantom Hourglass.
Oh, yeah.
And the Peak of Awakening is a pretty clear nod to Link's Awakening. Quatta's Shelf is
The Peak of
called
Awakening?
Kuota
I don't think I've
Plateau
even
in
seen that on the map.
Japanese, and its name is a corruption of Okutaroku or Octorok. Moving back towards
What
the
the hell?
plateau, just west of it we find Mount Naboru, named after Naboru, the Sage of Spirits from Ocarina of Time, fittingly overlooking the Gerudo Canyon Pass.
That one
Nearby
makes
is
sense.
Kukot Plateau, which gets its name by combining the first 3 letters of Kotake and Koume's names, the twin Gerudo witches. Moving south, there's Spectacle Rock, a recurring Zelda location ever since the original game, named for how it resembles a pair of glasses. Yana Valley is named after the Yana Desert from Link's Awakening. Quickly covering the rest of the Gerudo region, the only location I could find that directly references another Zelda game is the Arbiter's Grounds, which calls back
Twilight
to the dungeon
Princess.
of the same name from Twilight Princess.
Dude, this guy's knowledge on
Warm
Zelda
stonework
games must be
buried in the
like
sands
insane.
is still Hylia is a classic Zelda location, appearing in games
Lake
ever since A Link to
Hylia!
the Past, and Breath of the Wild is no different.
Classic.
However, the Bridge of Hylia that crosses the lake references the bridge of the same name in Twilight
Princess.
and the designs of the two bridges
Where you
are
gotta fight
similar,
that
if not
that
identical.
Bokoblin
Just
guy
like
or whatever.
The Parash Plains south of Lake Hylia don't seem to refer to anything, but the Japanese name definitely does.
Oh.
Tetra Plains,
Oh.
named after the Wind Waker
Yeah.
Zelda's alter ego. Papetto Grove is likely
Gerudo
a
Valley in
reference
the
to
background?
the Sacred Grove from Twilight Princess,
Oh.
where a Skull Kid attacks Link by using puppets.
Oh my
Martha's
God.
Landing is a reference to Martha's
such an
Bay,
annoying part of
a
the game.
location from Link's Awakening. Moving on to Farron Woods, which is in itself a recurring Zelda location, having appeared in Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, named after Farron.
Right, Farron Woods is where you start in Twilight Princess, right?
Mount Floria overlooks the woods from the north, and the Floria Falls lead into Lake Floria, across which is Floria Bridge, and from which flows the Floria River. These are all named after Lake Floria from Skyward Sword, which gets its name again from Farron. To the east, Tuft Mountain is named after King Tuft. Now let's move all the way out to Eventide Island.
We're just chilling.
A small crop of land
Eventide
where Link is
Island!
stripped of his equipment as part of a Sheikah trial. The entire island is something of a nod towards Link's Awakening,
yeah.
where Link
I
also
loved...
washes up on a
Dude, I loved Eventide Island. I didn't do this on stream. I'm pretty sure this is something that I did off stream without like really knowing what I was doing. But I saw this big island on the map and I was like, what the hell is that? And then I like how when you go there, you just immediately get stripped of all your equipment. It was really cool. It was like Castaway, man.
Back onto the mainland, Courage Step obviously references courage, a central theme of the Zelda series.
That's a bit of a stretch
and
there,
just north
Zeltic,
of
but
here
I'll
is
allow it.
Bremen Peak, named after the Bremen mask from Majora's Mask.
Oh, yeah.
Mapler Point may be another nod to Maple the Witch, but as it's in an area where most locations are named after types of tree, it's unlikely. The Lanayru region north of here is another recurring Zelda location, named after Nehru, the goddess of wisdom. Nadra Snowfield, which sits in the shadow of Mount Lanayru, is named after the dragon Nadra, who often flies above the mountain pass. North of here are a few locations named after places from the Oracle games. Brinna Plain.
What was the boss's name in Twilight Princess? The dragon boss in Twilight Princess. It wasn't Nadra, was it? I don't know why I thought it was Nadra.
And Lodrum Headland is named after Holodrum, the setting for Seasons. Spool Bite, Horon Lagoon,
Haven't played Seasons.
Tarm
Gotta
Point,
play
and
Seasons.
Samasa Plain are named after Spool Swamp, Horon Village, Tarm Ruins, and
Argarok?
Samasa Desert
Okay,
from Oracle
I was
Seasons.
completely
And
off,
Wintry
dude.
Island to the
Holy
south
shit.
is obviously named after Winter, perhaps even directly named after the Woods of Winter. Continuing north, we find the Tingle, Ankle, Knuckle, and Davdi Islands, named after Tingle and his retinue. Ankle, Knuckle,
Tingle! Wait, Tingle Island, obviously. Ankle Island, Knuckle, and David? Wait, sorry, I gotta back up just a sec.
Knuckle, and
Davdi Island.
Islands.
Davdi. What if we get to meet these guys in Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land? That would be fun. These are the slaves that Tingle basically has in Wind Waker, right? Who knew the other colorful Tingle names? Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know them. But when you go to Tingle Island in Wind Waker, he's got these other guys like working for him.
Ruto Mountain, Precipice, and Lake are all named after Princess Ruto, the sage
Damn,
of
she's
water
looking
from Ocarina of Time, and Luto's
pretty
Crossing is named
thick
after
in that
Laruto,
picture.
the sage of Earth from the Wind Waker. Oran Bridge is named for Oran, a link between worlds Zora Queen, and the Inogo Bridge is named after the Indiegogo.
Oh, yeah.
The Zora band from Majora's Mask. Rallis
Oh my
Pond
God,
is named
dude.
for Prince Rallis from Twilight
That's
Princess,
crazy.
and Zodobon Highlands are named after Ocarina of Time's King Zora, who's known in Japanese as King Zora Dobon the 14th. Lulu, Mikau, and Jabu Ridge references Lord Jabu Jabu, the Zora guardian deity from Ocarina of Time.
Lumi, what's up?
Rutala Dam and the surrounding Rutala
Welcome
River
in.
are named after Rutala,
Hopefully you
the
didn't
Zora
come into me
queen from
going,
Twilight
meh.
Princess. There are
Meh.
a few non-Zora related place names here too. Veiled Falls after Veil Falls from the Minish Cap, and Tabal Woods and Tal Peak after Tabal Wasteland and Tal Mountain from Link's Awakening.
Ah, Tal Mountain. I have an associate's degree in Zelda. This dude has a doctorate. True. This guy's got a PhD in Zelda.
The nearby Linebeck Island refers to Linebeck from Phantom Hourglass, and Banan Island is named after an island from the same game. Also from Phantom Hourglass is Zor's Island.
It's crazy. Literally every game, every location in this game is just a reference. Are there places that aren't references?
Valley and Plain after Trilby Highlands.
Like, that's what I'm wondering. Is everything a reference?
The name of Link's grandfather.
How does he know all this shit, dude?
Mount Creenal, Pico Pond after the Picori, and Minshi Woods after Minish Woods. Northeast of here is...
How does he know all this?
Ulria Grotto is named after Ulrira, the old man who gives Link hints, as is Ulri Mountain, and just nearby is Canalet Ridge, named for Canalet Castle. Ukuku Plains references Ukuku Prairie, Torin Wetland is named after Tarin, and Malin Bay nearby is named after Marin.
Alright, but where is Error? Where are the Zelda 2 references?
Looming over Akala is Death Mountain, another staple Zelda landmark.
Death Mountain's classic.
Darb Pond, a reference to Darbus from Twilight Princess.
Thim's Bridge.
Dingo Pool, a nod
Thim's
to
Bridge?
Medigoron. Golo River, Gorko Lake, and Gortron
I don't know.
Cliff. After Golo,
He's saying a lot of names right now. It's hard for me to keep track of everything.
Goro Cove, after Gorons in general, or perhaps the way they speak. The Bridge of Eldin is named after a
Which
bridge
is
that
Smith
appears in
backwards.
Twilight Princess, though the two are
Huh.
entirely different. Lake Darman refers to Darmani from Majora's Mask,
Which is not
and
correct.
Darunia Lake is obviously named for Darunia,
Smith.
the Sage of Fire from Ocarina of Time. Korok Forest
Smith.
is surrounded by Lake Mekar, named after
Mekmakar!
the Sage of Wind from Wind Waker. Lake Saria and Mido Swamp are both named after Kakiri from Ocarina
Dude,
of
Mido was a
Time.
dickhead. I called him Mido, but maybe it is actually pronounced Mido. But yeah, he was such a dick. He's the kid that doesn't let you leave because you don't have a sword and shield, and then he's like,
Wait, the Deku Tree wants to see you? Why do you want to see me? Me.
Ruins obviously reference Roru, the Sage of Light from Ocarina of Time.
Roru.
Central Hyrule is home to a few of the most extensive references.
Okay,
to
but what
previous
he's not saying, and I only know this from playing Zelda 2, a lot of the names from characters that you get in like Ocarina of Time and stuff come from Zelda 2. Like there was the town of Roru in Zelda 2. Naboru, I want to say as well. I don't know, there were a few. So like while Ocarina of Time really set up the lore for a lot of these characters, the names actually came from Zelda 2. As much as I shit on Zelda 2, it really did provide a lot for the series. I gotta give credit where credit's due, man. This game is just a rehash of everything else. Where's the outrage? Yeah, what the hell? Breath of the Wild is just a rehash. I think this is cool that they're taking names that are referencing just any frickin' Zelda game.
From Majora's Mask, and Mount Gustaf is named after King Gustaf from the Minish Cap. There's a group of bridges named after bosses from Zelda 2. Rebene Bridge after Rebene.
Zelda 2, let's go!
Horsehead Bridge after Horsehead.
Oh, wow.
Helmhead Bridge after Helmet Head.
Yep.
And Karok Bridge after Karok.
Yep,
Jumping
that
over
tracks,
to
that
Hebra,
tracks.
There really isn't much in terms of naming references.
Really?
Many locations here are just named after species of bird, which is
Oh, okay.
fitting considering Rito Village. just
Imagine
to the
reusing
south.
assets. Yeah, I know,
The
right?
village itself is surrounded by Lake Totori, derived from Rito.
Okay.
Kalami Bridge is named after Kamali, the Rito prince from the Wind Waker.
True.
Mount Rome to the southeast is a clearer reference to Breath of the Wild itself and its king, Rome Bosphoramus Hyrule. Just nearby, Lindor's
I mean,
Brow
look, if
and
you're a
Upland
king
Lind-
and you don't have a mountain named after you, I mean, what are you doing, really? Let's be honest, you know? Like,
or Linda. And the Breach of Demise is of course named after Demise, the king
Exactly,
of
yeah.
demons from Skyward Sword.
Demise!
And
One of the
that's
most
it.
badass boss
As far
fights in
as I can tell, that's
all of
every
Zelda.
location name in Breath of the Wild that references something from a previous game in the series.
That's crazy. Look at all those
Personally, I love how
locations,
games like
dude.
the Minish Cap and the Oracles are given just as much attention as the bigger entries in the
Hmm.
series. And with the exception of the Four Swords games, every single Zelda game has at least one location named after it.
Wow.
It's a fun,
That's
relatively
cool.
subtle way to connect this new Hyrule with what came before.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I hope I haven't missed any, but if I have, let me know in the comments down below. This video wouldn't have been possible without the brilliant Zelda wiki, link in description, which has a breakdown of the nomenclature of nearly all of the places in
Nomenclature.
Hyrule.
Wow, that was definitely
Thanks for
pretty
watching this
sweet.
video. Like
I'll
and
link it to you
subscribe
guys
if
if
you
you
haven't
want to
already
go
for
check
more
it out for
Zelda
yourselves,
content.
if you missed a
Cheers,
little bit
guys,
of it,
and we'll
or
see you.
if you wanted to go watch it later.